Good evening, my lovelies, and welcome to the Queen's Curry Kitchen. Today, I am actually in the middle of making some things for breakfast prep, and I thought I should bring you in and show you some gluten-free breakfast ideas that I'm putting together for a blog article that I'm writing. So I'm just testing these recipes. I'm not actually testing these recipes, I'm just creating them for the blog. The first thing that I'm making here is a Besan Kachila, which is totally protein packed. And I've just added red bell pepper, green bell peppers, cilantro, ajwain seeds or carom seeds. And I'm kind of half cooking them so that it's for a meal prep article, right? So we're just basically trying to talk about make ahead breakfast options that you can have in your fridge so that when you need to leave in a rush or you don't have enough time to make something from scratch, you can still eat good stuff, right? So this is a Besan Kachila. I'm gonna make one right in front of you. And I'm not really overcooking both sides simply because the final cooking will be done just before you want to eat it, right? So if you overcook it or you make them too thin, then they become kind of hard. So a couple of things to remember when you make Besan Kachila. Some people like to add all-purpose flour to it, which is maida. I don't like to do that because I'm gluten-free as much as possible. So if you're not using all-purpose flour in your Besan Chilla, then chances are that it's going to get pretty dry. It won't be moist. So the thing that you need to add into your batter is going to be some yogurt, or you can add some grated zucchini. Both of these things will actually make your chickpea puras to be very, very moist, and they're not going to be dry, okay? So you have a nice non-stick pan at your disposal because this is going to be your greatest friend. In here, I'm going to make a Oatmeal Kheer, and I've started out by using one can of evaporated milk. Let me say a quick hello to Jeshali, Shrikala. Welcome to the Queen's Curry Kitchen. Okay, now as soon as I see that it's becoming kind of hard and translucent on top, I'm going to go ahead and drizzle some oil to the periphery of it, and then also a little bit in the middle. And then I'm going to turn the heat down to medium. Okay, coming back to this one, all I've done is I've added some slivered almonds and I've added some cardamom powder. Okay, now that it's boiling, now I'm going to make this unsweetened to put in the fridge only because whoever eats sugar can add sugar before they warm it up, and whoever eats Splenda can put Splenda. If anybody wants to put raisins or dates, they can put that. And this is good old rolled oats that I'm going to use. And we are just going to boil everything together till it's nice and creamy, just like a kheer or a payasam. Okay, you can add whatever dry fruits or nuts of your choice. Just don't add raisins, especially if you're making something ahead of time and you're not going to consume it right away. Do not add raisins to that because the sourness of the raisins will make the milk curdle. If you're using a plant-based milk instead of dairy, then you can add raisins. It's not a problem. Okay, now I just eyeball everything. But I know that for the blog, I do have to give them exact measurements of what all I'm using. Whew, there's been a lot of recipe testing and recording for blogs and different broadcasts on different channels of information that need to go out. Okay, so this is boiling and it thickens up pretty quickly. It cooks really, really fast. Some people like to dry roast the oatmeal. I don't like to do that. And nowadays there's also the overnight oats, which is like super popular and people are crazy about it. Okay, so if that's something you want to do, just boil your milk like a kheer. Especially if you use evaporated milk, half the work is already done for you because the milk is like a nice light brown color. There is no water content in the milk and it's a really creamy texture and taste. So then you don't have to sit there and boil the milk for hours to get that ghee-like texture. Also, if you use a non-stick pan like this, okay, let me just switch these two. So this is almost done. I'm not gonna overcook the inside of this. You see that? I'm not going to overcook the inside of it to get too many brown spots, because then when we are reheating this, it's going to get super dry. And that's really not the goal of this exercise. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and press down some of the thick parts so that they are not raw. Okay. So this will cook in low heat. And coming back to the oatmeal, if you have a non-stick pan like this, you can see all the cream, which we call in Hindi malai, is going to get stuck to the sides. And you have a wooden spoon or a silicone spatula, scrape it and put it back. It's literally going to taste like rubbery. It's not even going to taste like a breakfast cereal. It's actually going to give you the taste of rubbery, and you'll actually feel like you're eating rubbery. If your family is not crazy about cardamom, if they like cinnamon, you can add cinnamon. If they like vanilla, add vanilla, okay? No problem. But you can see how this oats has really already cooked, and it's nice and creamy. It has a very starchy feel. You see that? How it's completely cooked in such a short time. So this is completely cooked, and remember, it is unsweetened. This is the last chilla that's going on. After this, I'm going to be making poha, which is made with flattened rice. Hello, Pooja. Hello, Karishma. Welcome to the Queen's Curry Kitchen. We are making some gluten-free breakfast options, the Indian style. And this is something that I'm writing an article for somebody. And I need to have these recipes so that I can put pictures along with the article. So I thought, why not let you guys also have some fun. So in here, if you're just joining the party, make sure to catch the replay or hit the rewind button. You can also send me a direct message if there is any recipe that you would like me to do in detail, or if you want to take a class, so you can send me a direct message right from this live. And if you haven't gone to my website and downloaded the chana masala recipe, I urge you to do that. My website is queenscurrykitchen.com. There is a free chana masala recipe download out there that you can go get for yourselves. And it's really an easy chana masala recipe. It's 100% vegan. And that recipe is from my book, The Vegan Indian Home. Okay. Now, when you are meal prepping and putting it in the fridge, make sure you cool everything completely. And in order to do that, don't leave stuff touching your plate. You have to actually take a spatula. Okay, take a spatula and insert it under your paratha or under your chilla and lift them off a little bit so that they'll get the air that they need. Okay, when you lift it off, you're actually creating some room for the air to circulate, almost like putting something on a rack after you've baked it, right? You see that, how the spatula lifts it off? In the frying pan, well, this is besan chilla, which I've made with chickpea flour. And I was just doing the tip of the day where I'm talking about if it becomes too dry for you. And these are not fully cooked. So one side is cooked and one side is undercooked. So that just before you're ready to eat it, you're going to heat it on that side and then it'll be ready to eat. Okay, I did not overcook it on both sides because when you're actually going to reheat it, it'll become super dry and tasteless. Okay, also wrap these in paper towels and then put them in airtight containers and put it in your fridge. This lasts about 5 to 7 days easy. There is nothing to worry about. Just make sure you cool them properly before you refrigerate it. Okay, so this is our besan chilla. I don't use green chilies, so I only use green bell peppers. But if you use green chilies, carrots, whatever kind of vegetables you want to put, you can put it. It's better if you grate it. And if you feel like your chillas get dry, then yes, it's just besan and water, but that's the next thing I'm coming to. If you feel like your besan chillas get super dry, then basically what you should do is when you're making the batter, add a little bit of yogurt or grate a zucchini and put it in there. Okay, so just do that. All right. This is the oatmeal kheer that I'm making, and the only thing that I've basically added is evaporated milk. I'm not going to sweeten it because different family members like it a different way. So if someone likes it with Splenda, they can add Splenda. If somebody likes it with sugar, they can add sugar. If somebody likes it with dates, they can add dates. This is the brand of oatmeal that I'm using. It's Bob's Red Mill. And immediately upon putting it, I think in under 3 to 4 minutes, it's fully cooked. I've also added a little bit of cardamom powder. If your family likes vanilla more than cardamom or cinnamon more than cardamom, feel free to do that. It smells exactly as if I'm making kheer. Literally, I'm not kidding. So I did add some slivered almonds when the milk was boiling, and I've used 1 can of evaporated milk, and half of that quantity is regular milk. Okay, so if you're doing this with a dairy-free version, then I don't know what kind of evaporated milk is available, but this is it. And you don't want to make it too thick because it will thicken as it sits in the fridge. So when I remove it from the flame, I will add a splash of water. I will add just a splash of water so that when I'm actually going to reheat it on the day of eating it, it's going to be the perfect consistency. If you make it too thick here, then it's going to be absolutely glop and you will not be able to eat it. One of these days, I'm also going to make an oatmeal khichdi and show you how we do that, okay? So this is pretty much done, and this can go in individually portioned containers. You can add your topping of fruit. You can eat it hot or cold, and it literally tastes like kheer. The advantage of having a non-stick pan like this is that when the milk boils, you get all of the cream on the side, on the edges, that comes and sticks to this edge, like you can see. And when you scrape that and put it right back into your pot, you actually start building what's called rabdi malai. So it really tastes like the cream and the clotted cream that gets stuck to the side of the pan. It's really, really delicious. Okay, now we're moving on to poha, and I'm going to do a very, very basic recipe. It's not complicated at all, so even if you've never made it, you should still be able to do it. Okay, just a little bit of oil. I'm going to grab, oh, I have mustard seeds right here. So we're going to get this away from the heat so that it can cool down. These are 2 breakfasts that are already done. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to put this together, but once you're done and everybody's running out the door, you don't really have to eat starchy bagels or sweet muffins and croissants and whatnot. I think it's just the convenience of it that we gravitate towards those things, even though they don't add any food value to our life. Okay, so we're gonna add a few mustard seeds. Hey Deborah, how you doing today? Good to see you here. Okay, so I'm gonna allow the mustard seeds to splutter just a little bit. You don't need a whole lot of oil. You see, when they start becoming white, then you know that they're already spluttering. Hi Iris, welcome to the Queen's Curry Kitchen. I am adding a little bit of ginger. So ginger early in the morning, whether in your chai or in your breakfast, is really great. It helps to maintain a healthy gut. It's also great for upper respiratory health, and also super amazing to control inflammation. I've seen the difference in my health. Hey Sushma ji, I've seen the difference in my health when I drink adrak wali chai and when I don't drink the ginger chai. Big difference. My joints start to feel very different as soon as I wake up in the morning. It's a very different feeling. Okay, just gonna saute the onions briefly for a few seconds. Add in all of these onions. Just gonna saute these. We don't have to caramelize them. I've just finely chopped them. Now you can also do the same technique with quinoa. I have on my YouTube channel, I do have a Quinoa Upma recipe. So if anybody wants to take a look at that, you certainly can. Now to amp up the protein in this dish, I will add a handful of dal. And you can use any lentils, either mung beans or matli beans, which is the white urad dal, or you can use the yellow mung beans. And we're going to continue to saute this a little bit. The curry leaves are really super aromatic at this point. My heat is really, really low because I'm just slowly sauteing this. Now just remember, when you use a lot of oil in your recipes, you can have it at a very high flame and you can build the char and you can sear your food for maximum flavor. But it's only when you do simple things like this with a little bit of oil, then you have to really give it that time and patience that it deserves. So don't be shy of it. It's for your own good, right? I'm gonna add a little bit of bell peppers. You can add any vegetables that you have. Carrots are especially good in upmas, and upma comes from the south of India. It's usually made with semolina. Poha comes from the western part of India, widely eaten in central India and in all over Maharashtra, all over Madhya Pradesh. It's like the breakfast of choice, even in Gujarat. So these are just some of the places. Now we're not trying to brown the onions, okay? Hey Steven, welcome. Nandini, good morning, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. I do have some sprouts, so I'm gonna add these. They'll add a nice crunch to my poha. Poha is nothing but flattened rice, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like. I've actually just rinsed it in cold water and let it strain out for a bit. Okay, so I'll allow this just to get some color for a couple of seconds. I do have peanuts somewhere. If only I can find stuff when I need it, that'd be really nice. Looks like today I'm not going to be able to find the peanuts, but hey, if you have peanuts, please put them in. Okay, this would be the time when you would put your peanuts in. Try not to fry the peanuts. In this one, I am going to put in some raisins, and I'm going to put in some broken cashew pieces. And then I'm going to bring in my soaked flattened rice. You see how dry it is? It becomes... It's not supposed to sit in the water. Just rinse it quickly and then drain it on a strainer like this. Okay, now all of this is going to go in. This is just flattened rice. It's called poha, and you get it in two different kinds. You get the thick one and you get the really thin one. I prefer the thick one because it really maintains its shape. And my mom's Bengali, so where she comes from, we don't even cook it. We just soak it in water and then we eat it with yogurt or with milk and sugar or whatever. So we don't even cook it. Give it a gentle toss. Now remember, there is no salt added to this yet. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add salt to taste. A little bit of paprika. Some turmeric, of course, for good measure. I also like to add a little pinch of coriander seed powder. Give it a gentle toss. And because we're not relying on the oil to cook this thing, we are going to add just a few sprinkles of water just to bring it together, and also for the turmeric color to permeate all of the grains of the poha that are sitting here. In goes the cilantro, and of course, if you've added turmeric to something, I know I've told you this, black pepper shouldn't be far behind. When you add black pepper to any dish that has turmeric, it helps in the absorption of turmeric. So they are the cousins that must be used next to each other. Okay. And I'm just going to add just a little bit of water. And that's about it. Some people also like to add cabbage or carrots or whatever it is that they have. I do have some cabbage, but I'm not trying to fry the cabbage. I'm just trying to add it for a little extra crunch and a little textural variation. That's the only goal I have here. Again, let it cook for a few minutes. These are really simple to do ahead of time. And then before you eat it, you just reheat it. You add some lemon juice to it, or you can add some cilantro chutney. You can add some tamarind chutney. You can just add some lemon juice to this, and it's ready to go to town. You can also travel with it. It really travels beautifully. Okay. I was looking for my carrots and my peas, which are somewhere here. Here they are. Okay, so I have my carrots and peas totally frozen. And I'm going to add just those. So what that's going to do is it's going to just kick up a little bit of moisture. And it's going to help to wake up the rice grains, the flattened rice grains. And that's about it. It's really not that complicated. So in the time that it takes for you to order your coffee from Starbucks and think whether you want the croissant or you want the egg bites, or you want the protein box for breakfast in that time, or you know, sit in the drive-thru, you can literally make 3 breakfasts and put them in your fridge and then eat them whenever. Now, most people that live in dry climates also add a pinch of sugar to this just to balance the electrolytes in their food, and that's totally fine. I don't like my food to be sweet, especially not breakfast. But one thing that I do like in my poha is asafoetida. So I certainly add that. It helps with flatulence and it's really great for your gut. We've also added ginger. So sometimes people that are not of Asian heritage, they say, how can you eat rice in the morning? Well, rice has many forms in Asia. So poha is one of them. And we've added the protein-packed sprouts. We've added the vegetables. Whatever's in season, just add that. And this is nice and fluffy. We are going to serve this with some fresh lemon juice and you'll be done. If you eat green chilies, then by all means add bird's eye chili or Thai chilies to this, and it'll be super duper good. Okay, so this is our 3 breakfasts. For those of us that are just joining us, we made a chickpea pancake. This is a crepe, and I've cooked it only on one side really well. The underside is not fully cooked, so that when we are ready to reheat it, we can actually cook it nicely on both sides. I've added minimal amounts of oil to it. You can reheat it with ghee or just reheat it just like that. You can also press it in your panini press. Also, when you're allowing this to cool, stick a spatula under your crepes so that it'll be lifted up off of the plate, and then air will circulate it and help it to cool down. The second breakfast that we just made was the oatmeal kheer, and you can see how creamy. Look at that. You see all that cream? This is all like, this is the rubbery that I'm talking about. So I've used a can of evaporated milk and half that quantity of regular milk, and I've used rolled oats. I've added almond slivers and cardamom to this. Do not add raisins if you plan to put your kheer in the fridge, because it's going to spoil your kheer. And I've added water after I removed it from the stove so that it'll have a little bit of a thinner consistency, so that when I'm ready to reheat it, it'll just be the perfect porridge. Okay, this is my 3rd recipe that I'm doing for that article that I'm writing, and now I have to get into taking these off the flame. I don't think I'll be doing any photography at this time of day, because I really do all of my photography in natural light. But that's that. I hope you enjoyed these 3 recipes, and if you did, definitely leave a comment below. Give us some thumbs up and hearts. Hi Sabrina. Hello Mina. Welcome, welcome. We are making 3 make-ahead breakfasts that are all gluten-free, Desi style. We just finished making poha, which is a flattened rice for breakfast. Before that, we made Besan Kachila, which is a protein-packed crepe made with chickpea flour. And then I made Oatmeal Kheer. This is the brand of oatmeal that I use. And if you missed it, please watch the replay. There's also an option to rewind. Okay, so these are the 3 breakfasts that we have done. In the time that it took you to watch this video, there are 3 breakfasts for, I think this will serve 2 to 3 people. Okay, so whenever you're in a rush, instead of reaching for the drive-through, or instead of going to some junky stuff and eating processed food, try to make some fresh things for yourself. Yes, it does take time, but also when you eat unhealthy things or you eat over-processed foods, when you have to go to the doctor's office in your old age, that also takes a lot of time. So you might as well put in the time now. I am going to check this for salt. It does need a little more salt. Also, some people don't like to add too much salt, but they add chaat masala to this. That's fine too, but just remember chaat masala also has sodium. So if you're trying to watch your sodium, then refrain from things like chaat masala. If you're trying to watch your sugar, then refrain from things like ketchup and chutneys, because they really mask a lot of sugar and sodium in them. So just read the labels carefully. Best of all, make it at home. I know our American lifestyle is super crazy and nobody has that much time, but like I said, you have to either make time for illness or you have to make time for wellness. So it's your choice. Thank you, Sushmaji. Come on over and eat some. Okay, just before I remove it from the flame, I'm going to add some fresh pieces of ginger, because it just really adds a nice bite to it. But my favorite thing to add in my pohas and upmas is, of course, the asafoetida. That's really my favorite flavor. Okay, so this is done. Our 3 breakfasts are done. If this was your first time on this page, please make sure it's not your last. Go and hit the follow button. Share my recipe if it brought any value to you. If you are a family where you're constantly struggling, not knowing what to put on the table, join my page, because I'm always doing easy to replicate dishes. There's also a lot of ebooks on my website that can help you to make whatever you wish. There is a book on spices. There is a book on omnivorous cooking, so there are vegetarian and non-vegetarian recipes in that book. There is also how to use these spices, so it's called The Spice of Life. That's the name of the book. There will be a book on the Indian street foods where you can learn everything right from papri chaat to pani puri to dahi bhalle and how to make the chutneys for that. There is also a book on the Indian curry secrets of a restaurant, so how we make curries in the restaurant in bulk and how they are used to make all the dishes that come from it. All of those books are instant downloads and they are on our website. Again, the ever popular The Vegan Indian Home. Only few more hard copies are left. All the soft copies are of course eternal, but the hard copies are almost sold out. For everybody that placed their order for the chai masala and the cardamom coffee, I will be shipping them out towards the end of this week, so you'll have your order. Do not despair. Those are all made to order and they are made in small quantities, so that's pretty much the strategy we follow. I don't really keep a bulk inventory of anything. Okay, so with that, I'm going to call it a wrap. I do have to clean up my kitchen and head out to Manhattan. I have some things to take care of, but you can see this looks really nice. Anything that you can wake up to where someone is making a fresh breakfast for you, love them more than you love yourself, because they are the ones who are your true friends. Nisha Jivnani, welcome to the Queen's Curry Kitchen. Take a moment and head over to the page, follow the channel. And if you've missed anything, there's also a YouTube channel by the same name, so you can catch me there, okay? Tomorrow is our production day, so do not forget to join me in the Queen's Curry Kitchen as we do our production for our weekly menu. I will try to go live by 9 or 9:30, and you can see everything that we're going to make tomorrow. These are our 3 breakfast dishes that happened today. If someone can take a screenshot and send it to me after this live is over, I would greatly appreciate it, because I have both my hands full. So this is the Besan Chilla, which is a savory crepe. We also made poha, which is also a savory breakfast. And this is Oatmeal Kheer, which is a sweet breakfast. So we have 3 different kinds of breakfasts. So if you did this on Sunday, you're good to go till Wednesday, Thursday, you'll be fine, right? And then one day you can just do toast, avocado toast or egg and toast. That's pretty much all week for you, right? Okay, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Don't be left out. Thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you for making Queen's Curry Kitchen 5,000 members strong. It really means the world. Thank you so much. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.